Hi, welcome to the Antique Trader, and today we have needlepoint for you. For those of you that like to do needlepoint, Nala Janceski is here. Nala, how are you doing today?
Okay, thank you, Sharon, for having me.
Thank you for being on the program. Tell me a little bit about your background. I know we've been friendly for a long time, but a lot of people don't know what you do for a living.
I'm actually a customer service supervisor for Conagra Foods Hebrew National out of the New York office, and all day on the phones and hustling orders, phone calls, helping out customers and everything. So when you come home from work, you need a very relaxing day, and my needlepoints take me there.
You don't do any needlepoints at work, right?
I tried during lunch and never had enough time to catch up with me and everything.
Okay, tell us, how did you become interested in needlepoints?
Well, about 25 years ago, when I went to Europe, I met the girls that were my cousins, and they were doing it there. And it was a very hot thing that you had to make so many when you got married, so you had to decorate your home. You got to remember, I went back to Europe, and it was very poor in the suburbs life, and that's what they did.
What part of Europe did you go to?
I went to Macedonia, which was part of Yugoslavia at that time, and the girls were doing it in front of me, and they taught me, and I fell in love with it right there and then. And I bought a whole bunch of needlepoints from there, and made a whole bunch from there, and I keep going back and getting them and having people when they go on vacation, can you stop and buy me? And I would show them what I want, and they would come back bringing me from there all the time.
Okay, you bought some of the first ones that
Right,
you did. Let's
right.
show these off very quickly.
This is my first one. This is a picture of a boy on the farm with the dog, and you could see the needle pointing. If you turn it around the back, Sharon, you could see how it's done, because the back should look similar to the front. And then we have this one of the little girl, farm girl, and everything. And these are my first two. I made these less than 2 weeks and everything. It's a lot of work, but I just did it because I didn't have a job and I was on vacation. It was a very relaxing vacation in Europe that time.
Great. And let's see some of the others.
Okay.
How about these?
This one I created, I bought this one here actually. It's a different design and they're very hard to find here. This was also framed, but we lost the frame and we took it out and I kept it. It's one of my first ones also.
How long did this take you?
That one took me about 9 months because I was working and I was doing it very infrequently. But it's a nice design to put in a wall, where you don't have a big wall and a small wall, and it lightens up the room.
Okay, and let's go on to this one.
Okay, this one is different kind of needlepoint. This is very tiny holes. It's partially done, and this one came from Europe. It's very hard to do. This one I couldn't finish. It was just too much work, too small of a hole. You need to sit there with a strong light and glasses all day long to do them and everything. But this is part of Europe. This is one of my European ones that I brought back when I was there.
All right, let's take a peek at some of the others that you brought here.
This one I bought here, but it actually came, the gentleman went to Greece. He has a store that I buy it from. This is my favorite, my most recent. This is actually for my mom. She loved it. This is my ballerina one.
Oh, this is beautiful.
And I've made 3 different kinds this big. It's very big. I've been working on this one for 3 years, but not on a regular basis and everything. And as you see, I have the ring here that shows you where I'm working, so it brings the work up closer for me. And it's, just the canvas alone cost $100 back 3 years ago. The threads cost me 55 cents a piece. And
how long do you think it's going to take you to finish this?
I've been trying to finish it up with this year. I'm hoping to get finished by Christmas. I doubt it. I have a long way to go. I mean, the blue and the trees are done. The ballerinas have a lot of detail.
Really beautiful.
Yeah, it's one of the big ones. And to frame it costs a lot of money because it has to get stretched, washed, and then stretched to be framed. And you have to take it to someone who knows what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah. Now, I know you have some over there. Let's show them what you have.
I know. Let's show the one that you have in the frame first.
Okay,
and then
this one.
we'll show mine last.
Okay. This one I bought here. It's the Virgin Mary. And actually, I started it. My daughter did most of it. And then I went back and finished it off. And you can't tell that someone did it. And I framed this one myself. It was a little easier because it was a small picture in the frame. And, of course, the what do you call this, the margins helped out to frame it for me and everything. And most of them here are religious that you buy here in Most canvases are religious
Right.
canvases, not these.
Did you have a hard time learning the art of needle pointing?
Yes, you have to have a lot of patience, but it's a sense of accomplishment. When I finished it, I was so eager. You know, you finish one color after another color, and you're like, I'm almost there, I'm almost there. It's such a great feeling to finish it off and everything. When you finish, you say, this is what I've created. And if you come to my home, I have them hanging up all over. And I'm so like, feel so proud when people come over. They're like, oh, you did this? Because you don't see this in too many homes.
Do they have any clubs or anything like that that you can join here of ladies that needlepoint?
I don't know. I honestly, I never went into them because I always worked and did them after work and when I go to the beach and, you know, whenever I have a moment. But if there are, I have no idea about them. And I know a lot of people who don't, older people know how to do these, but the younger crowd does not. They had to learn from someone that came from Europe, actually.
This is almost a lost art.
Yes, it is. And it's very hard to find here, so you can imagine how lost it is.
Okay. While we're doing this, let me take a minute to show you what I've done.
There you go.
And most of them, what I have done, I like to refinish furniture.
Right.
And I usually do these like one at a time and find a very antique chair, refinish the chair, and have this put on and stretch it right on there.
That's nice.
This one took me about 3 years.
This is a lot more work than mine's.
And
This is very nice.
it really needs to be stretched, but it's just the tiny stitches. That's why, you know, we
Right.
wonder why we're all going blind here.
That's right. Glasses are very important. Very nice coloring on
Now, this one is one that I've been working on, and I put that edging on it because it was darker. It makes it a lot easier for me to see what I've been working on. But this is actually a piece that's in the museum, and I've done several pieces like this,
this. Very nice.
and I've put them on chairs, and would you believe it? The chairs sold because this lady, she got so infatuated with the paintings
Right.
that I had done and everything, and she actually has paintings and needle points that I've done. I've been working on this particular one for almost 18 years, and I'm just about to finish.
Yeah, it's
I
very
have
nice.
very, very little. The
Yeah.
unicorn has to be finished,
Yeah.
and just a tiny bit of the lady's face here.
Do you do them by color or by section, or how do you do yours?
Just by color, it depends, because some of the stitch is knotting or just cross stitch. It depends.
Okay.
When I get tired of doing one stitch, I go on to the
Yeah,
other.
okay.
Because it's very time consuming and it's tedious, you know,
Yes.
if you work on the same thing over
Right,
and over
right.
again.
I work by color. I don't work by section. Like you're saying, by one stitch or another. I strictly work by a color. I find it much more easier. Take the dark colors out or the ones that mix well, you know, like a light beige with another beige. So I do the darker color first and then the lighter colors come last. So much more easier.
Well,
this
I
is-
do oil paintings on canvas,
Oh, okay.
and I like to do the pictures. So I look at this as a painting,
Okay.
but it's just
Very
a
nice.
different media to
Right.
work in.
This is very detailed work. I
It
see
is.
Yeah.
It
Very.
is. So,
And did you buy this here or was
yes, I did.
you did?
Yes, I did.
Okay. It's very hard.
But I haven't tried any of the European ones, which is something that I'll probably be
Right.
tackling. But you bought some other things with you, didn't you?
I bought some canvases that are not done at all. Let's see. Here's one.
Okay.
These all came from Europe. These are what some people bought for me from Europe. And you can see it's another ballerina shot. And I like the colors. I try to match the colors as much as possible. You see the colors on the bottom? They're, how do you say it, all over the United States. The company that makes the threads is countrywide. I mean, you know, whatever you want to call it, international. So whatever the color is, if the number here is 896, 896 is that color. You can find it in any country. It is that same color as it's stated.
Okay, we're going to take a short break and then we're going to ask more questions about this particular one. This is really nice. We'll be right back.
I like this one.
Okay, just leave it on there.
class led me to a life of crime. I catch murderers, rapists, and thieves with a microscope. Help your daughter become a scientist. Instead of a tea set, get her a chemistry set. Look at the boring job I got from being a science nerd. Expect the best from a girl. That's what you'll get.
You know trouble can start when the clock hits 3.
When there's no place after school for kids to be.
Nothing to do but hanging on city streets.
When mom and dad are working to make ends meet. Now it's time to beat the street.
With after-school programs, city kids aren't left alone and vulnerable. They keep on learning between 3 and 6, but these programs need your support. Join with the Urban League to keep them going. Call now, because it's
Time to beat the street.
10,000 eyes are on me.
Do it, Casey, do it.
Shouting, Casey, go all the way.
Casey, do it. Come on, Casey.
First base, second base, third base. Make your move today. Do it, Casey, do it.
Do it, Casey.
Score mighty, Casey, score.
Score.
I just don't get it. Is that what girls are for?
Must I, Amanda, take this guy to heaven to hold, to go out with and make out with, to be together and sleep together, to go all the way, 'cause they say he'll walk away, unless I do.
If you don't talk with your kids about sex, who will? Our free booklet can help.
Okay, we were talking about the threads and the color of threads, and you said that these numbers match the colors.
Right, they do.
And they're universal colors?
They're universal colors, and the numbers are universal to match. So if I go to Europe and I bought this canvas here in the United States, I can find a thread, as long as the country has it. France, Greece, most European, especially past the Red Curtain, or what used to be the Red Curtain, those countries have the style there. You can't find it in too many, like England or anything, but they do have the threads there. For example, let me see. Here's a thread. I don't think it matches on this one. Oh, yes, it does. Threads come like this, and they have the numbers, very small, written on them, so you know to match them. And usually when you buy the canvas, which I don't have on this one, it tells you how many, gives you a piece of paper that's stuck to it, and it tells you the number and how many threads you need to fill the canvas. Now, I make a lot of mistakes because I like to be a perfectionist, so I'd always buy extra, you know, to fill in the spots and everything. But they do match the colors with the numbers.
That is lovely. And you know what I thought, since I'm used to working in the Belgium wool, all my canvases that I've done, usually I use wool.
Okay.
Wool thread. And you told me that this is not wool, and I almost thought that it was.
No.
Let's take a look at this.
That's why yours has a
again.
lot more work on it than mine does, and everything.
Oh,
That blue that you're holding belongs to this ballerina and everything, to the ballerinas. And you can see it matches up. And it's like 3 different shades of blue right here coming on and everything. And you have 3 different shades. Let me take the brace off. You have 3 different shades of blue down here telling you what you need to buy, the colors to match and everything. And that's how we know how to go. And then
but you know, it has that feel that it almost feels like wool.
wool, right. It's 6 tiny threads on one thread. 6 tiny threads make this.
That's
Okay.
very interesting.
And it's a double stitch because you're doing the back and the front of the canvas.
So how long have you been doing this particular one?
This one, about 3 years I've been doing it. This one my mother fell in love with. She goes, I'll buy the canvas, you buy the threads. Meanwhile, I'm the one that's doing the work on it, you know? So I'm trying to be giving her a Christmas present for the past 3 years. So every time I get close to Christmas, I end up buying her a gift because I have not finished with this to put it in a box yet and everything. She sees me working on it all the time and everything.
That is so gorgeous.
This is my
Oh, it's
favorite so far.
beautiful.
And every time I get to a favorite one, I just keep going, looking. And now I know I'm almost finished, which I'm not, but I feel like I'm almost finished. I have to go buy another one. I have an urge to go to the store and buy one.
I meant to ask you in the back.
Mm-hmm.
When you finish them in the back,
Yes.
how hard is it to tie them in the back? Do you refinish them right away? Do you just
I tie them in the back right away.
and then clip them off, which
And
is
clip
what
them
I
off,
do.
right. Yeah, same thing. It's so much easier. I just stitch it back into a closed socket so it locks. I don't put a knot or anything. So I don't. You try to use as little as possible of your thread because it's so expensive and, you know, so tedious. You know, that it tangles easily also. This
If somebody wanted to start doing needlepoint now, what would you recommend?
Good pair of eyeglasses, extremely. I was in my early 20s when I started this, and I wore glasses even though I didn't wear glasses on a regular basis, and wear the glasses all the time, and a very strong light. Can't do it in the dark or anything, or watching TV. Make sure you have a strong light hanging
I
over
know
you.
they have a special magnifying glass that you use to hold in front with a light.
Okay, I don't use it. That's not a bad idea. You're giving me something to think about now.
No, because they do.
Okay.
The thing is, I didn't need it before, but I'm sure if I start needle pointing again, I'm definitely going to need it.
Well, I use the brace to help me, and I have a strong light that hangs over me. So when I do it, I actually have it showing on the canvas so I could stitch each point and I could see what I'm doing. But like I said, you need a strong light and good eyes. And glasses I wear when I needle point, no matter what.
So by this Christmas, you should be finished with this project.
I'm
hopefully.
praying.
Let's see the other canvas that you have.
Okay. This is a canvas that my sister-in-law, my ex-sister-in-law, bought me from Europe. I fell in love with this one too.
Beautiful.
This is a Christmas canvas. I think it would be something I would hang, you know, finish off. This would be finish off, fold it up, and put it out just for Christmas, you know, and everything. Keep it on the wall all year round. I mean, I like my summers. This is a winter scene. This is too wintry for me. But this is nice. The coloring looks up the room.
Beautiful.
Right. I like a lot of colors. You know, I don't like that dark background or anything. So light colors and a lot of the pink and the blue get together and they bring out the richness of the color.
Are you looking to finish this towards retirement?
This one is going to be a spare, you know. I always fall in love with one of something else. And
I'm surprised your sister-in-law didn't tell you I'm going to buy you this one so you could finish it for me.
Well, let me tell you something. She said it was very hard to find it then. This was back maybe about 5 years ago she went. She had a hard time finding it and everything. So it's not an easy thing even there in Europe to find it. And I know people who went to France and bought them back also. And they said, you can't find too many here in the United States. So this was one of mine. And I have another one to show you.
Okay, well, we're going to take a short break here a minute. And when we come back, we'll discuss that other one that you have. Sounds like a lot of fun. I can't wait to get to it.
Okay, you'll see.
I'll be right back.
Chemistry class led me to a life of crime. I catch murderers, rapists, and thieves with a microscope. Help your daughter become a scientist. Instead of a tea set, get her a chemistry set. Look at the boring job I got from being a science nerd. Expect the best from a girl. That's what you'll get.
You know trouble can start when the clock hits 3.
When there's no place after school for kids to be.
Nothing to do but hanging on city streets.
When mom and dad are working to make ends meet. Now it's time to beat the street.
With after-school programs, city kids aren't left alone and vulnerable. They keep on learning between 3 and 6, but these programs need your support. Join with the Urban League to keep them going. Call now, because it's
time to beat the street.
10,000 eyes are on me.
Do it, Casey, do it.
Shouting, Casey, go all the way.
Casey, do it. Come on, Casey.
First base, second base, third base. Make your move today. Do it, Casey. Do it. Score mighty, Casey. Score.
Score!
I just don't get it. Is that what girls are for?
Must I, Amanda, take this guy to have and to hold, to go out with and make out with, to be together and sleep together, to go all the way? Because they say he'll walk away, unless I do.
If you don't talk with your kids about sex, who will? Our free booklet can help.
Something I want to talk about before we come to a close here, about needles. Let's explain about needles.
What do you want to know? They're different needles. They're not the regular kind that you used to sew your clothes with. I buy mine, I think this is a 26 and a 28, depending on the canvas. Mine's a 28, my favorite number. The hole is specially made for the threads that are 6 threads inside for me. You probably use a bigger one for
Yes,
the
I do.
right?
Mine are big, long needles with big eyelets on them, and I use a threader. Do you use a threader for
No,
yours?
never use a threader. I thread my own, and I threw one needle at a time, and I lose them. So I'm always one needle at a time. You'll find them all over my room and everything.
Everybody has a method to their madness.
Yes.
The way that I do them is I buy a big package of needles, and I have a pin cushion, and I take all my needles and I thread them one color. Let's say I have 6 needles.
Yeah.
I thread them all and then tie them, make the little knot down at the
Yeah.
bottom, put them all in the pin cushion. When I'm through with that, that means
You're done for the day?
I am done for that period of
Okay.
time. For what little period of time I do
Yeah.
have left, because like you know, I'm very busy all the
Yes.
time. But when I do get to my needle point, I love doing
Right.
it. Okay, now you bought some other canvases here,
Right.
and this you said is a set.
Right. This is a set. There's 2 of them identical. You hold one, I'll hold the other. There we go.
Okay, here we
And
go.
everything. And I bought this because I had, where I used to live when I bought this, I had a door with 2 blank walls, and I wanted one on one side and one on the other side. And I like the coloring of it. So you can actually put it wherever you like. And that's what I bought them for. And I like them. Now I'm thinking of putting them in a corner. I got a corner spot in my house. So I got a statue in the middle. I want to put on one corner, one on one wall and one on the other wall, and the statue in the middle. And she's actually, it's a woman holding a water pail, you know, with the flowers. So I think this would go with it well.
Where did you get these particular ones?
These also came from the store I buy in Astoria in Queens, and these also came from Greece. But he brings them back from there. So I don't know if he goes there and buys them
To
or
sell
whatever.
here.
But it's really nice. Yeah, he sells them here.
How many needle points do you have at home? You told me you have others that you couldn't bring because they
I
were
have,
too big to
yeah,
bring
they're
in.
too big to bring in. I have 4 of them at home right now. 2 I gave to my mom, and 2 I have at home myself and everything. And they're framed with the glass, some without the glass, you know, and they were done years ago, and I fell in love with them, and those were like my first big, like my ballerina, my biggest ones that I loved and everything. And everyone loves them. They come to my house and they're amazed how,
So how many would you say you have in total?
oh wait, I didn't bring you everything I have. I have a whole suitcase full at home of them.
Oh,
These are just
so-
some of them. These are my, you know, my ifs and that's and different things I
So do
like.
you plan to retire? I
No.
want to look at this one more time before we
I want to
leave.
retire doing this. I plan on doing this. I love it. My mother has her hobby. I have mine. My mother she does, what do you call them, dollies? The ones that you know, you knit to make for your furniture.
The doilies?
The doilies, thank you. She makes that. She has such a knack for that, and she can't understand how I enjoy this. And I love doing this. It's so relaxing to me. This is one of my favorites.
Have you ever known any men to do this type of work?
No, I haven't seen that yet. At least not here. Who knows when you go to Europe what it's all about? They're more free over there than we are here.
Oh, okay. But when you first came across this, how excited were you? And did you think you'd be able to pull through doing it?
Yeah, I did. When I saw this one, I told him, I'll finish it in a year, Ma. I'll finish it in a year. It's been 3 years, but I'm finishing it in a year and everything. And my father was like, I can't believe you brought another one home. You know, this is my favorite. Everyone loves this one. And everyone's
Oh,
asking
so
me.
do I. The
Yeah.
colors are just so
Yeah.
beautiful. And it feels so great.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank you for being on the program and for
No
taking
problem.
the time to share with us all these beautiful things.
Thank you for letting me show off what we have and the different artwork that's out there. It's not just paintings and drawings. It's other kind of work out there.
This is very artistic and very beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time. And I guess we'll be sharing one of these nights. You could come over
And we'll
we'll
needlepoint
needlepoint
together. Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you so much for watching.
Well.